Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In today's video we are going through my October budget, and it's a little different this time because we are going digital, and I have created this template on Canva, so I will leave a link down below so that way you can go and download it and work on your budget with me as well. But it is basically, I ran out of months in my previous planner, monthly planner, and I'm just trying to figure out something to get through the rest of the year, and this may be an ongoing thing. And filming is not going to be the best because I'm trying to figure out lighting and everything since I am working off of an iPad and everything. So it's my first time doing this with this type of stuff, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to do anything to October. It is already set up the way I want it to be set up. But I will be adding some other things here and there. I will keep my trackers that are out there that I've been using, color-coded trackers. So those I'm still using, and I will be using them in here as well. And that's basically what I use to do my expense tracking, are those color-coded things. So moving on into the budget, it looks pretty much the same way that it always does. I have an area for my paychecks and additional income. For paycheck 1 and 2, I will not share those amounts because privacy type stuff, but any additional income, and that is any money that is coming in from my sinking funds to help cover some of the cost of some of the stuff, and anything like if I get a couple dollars from my mom here and there, because she is coming back to my house this week, so she may give me a couple dollars here and there, but everything additional goes into that box except for if it is business income. That goes into a separate page and everything. Now, as far as variable and fixed expenses go, these are how I have them split up, and get it bigger so you can kind of see a little bit. And I'm going to go through and start budgeting these and putting budgeted amounts for you guys. Starting off with the variable, and I have expenses totally spelled wrong up there. I just noticed that. I'll fix that in the link. But I'm gonna tilt this so I can write a little bit better, and I'm just gonna use regular handwriting and not anything extra. So the handwriting is not the best. I'm still learning all of this as I go. Okay. That is everything that I am budgeting for variable expenses. Water is definitely going to be higher. Currently, I have not paid my September bill because I've been disputing that. If you want a story time thing, then go to the, I'll leave a link somewhere, but I left a story time about what's going on with my water meter. I've had to have the meter replaced. I'm disputing the charges. I believe the meter is broken. So does the tech that came out and replaced my meter. And so we're disputing that. But because I'm disputing that, I have not paid my September water bill. And I did have additional money put on to the account. It was about $40 extra. I have not received that bill yet. I tried to download it this weekend and it said I couldn't download the bill. It's very frustrating. So I'm going to check back today because maybe it was just, you know, happened over the weekend, and they need a body, a human, to actually do something and not have it automated. But I'm going to try to figure that out. But currently, total that I need to pay is $400 or something like that. So I know water is going to be high, but we're still in this disputing process of everything. Moving on over into fixed expenses, these are the expenses that don't change very much. The only one that really does on a regular basis is the minimum payment for my business credit card. And I usually put the minimum payment over here so that way I know what the minimum payment is. And then I can figure out what all extra goes into debt. So we're going to go ahead and start off Okay, and that is everything for my fixed amount, so $572. I have already paid, back in September, I already paid the minimum payment pretty much and over, so I technically don't have a minimum payment anymore because I've already paid it. But I'm going to continue to put as much debt as I can, and that $208 is definitely over my self-imposed $195. So I am tired of basically $100 every single month going towards interest on the credit card. So that is my focus. I've been able to pay off credit card number 2 as of September. So it's time to start focusing on the business credit card and get that also paid off. We're going to go ahead and move over into the weekly check-in, and for this I am just going to be checking in on groceries and miscellaneous, and I'm going to go ahead and put the budgeted amounts for those, which is always $300 and $0. Now, as far as groceries go for this month, I am changing my eating plan, and I'm doing a meal plan that's supposed to help kind of lower my cholesterol throughout the time. So I have a 4-week plan, and I've already been to the grocery store for the first week, and it was a lot. Let's put it that way. It was 130 at one place and 45 at another store. So it's already a lot, but a lot of the stuff that I bought there, I will be using in future weeks. So it's like I bought a bag of sweet potatoes, and because I know sweet potatoes will last a while, so I only need one for this week, but I need more for later in the month. So it was a little bit much, but I'm hoping going forward it won't be as much here and there. Now, moving on to cash envelopes. These are the cash envelopes that I keep track of. Crafts and entertainment are the two that I want to save up over time, and then when I go to make a big purchase, say for like buying planners or something like that, I consider that kind of crafting because it's using my creative outlet. And then entertainment is if I'm gonna buy a TV series, a movie, a concert ticket or something like that. I want to have some money saved up. And the other ones are just ones that I go through pretty much on a monthly basis. Sometimes I will have leftover if I am focused on that. So crafts starting off, we have $0 in there. Entertainment, we actually have $56.44. And for household, 0, personal, 0, and restaurants we have $14.68. The entertainment and restaurants, those are stuff that I have remaining from previous months. I'm going to be adding this amount. So I don't plan on eating out this month because of my meal plan. So I'm hoping that I can just take that money and put it over here, and then on one of those girls' nights when we go to the Korean barbecue place and it costs a lot of money for all you can eat barbecue, that I will actually have money to just pay what I'm paying for. So as we go through the month, I will be subtracting when I actually do purchase anything from there, but really and truly, I am trying to not buy anything extra. I have bought a couple household items because I needed essential oils and stuff like that. Moving on into transaction log. This is the transaction log for my sinking funds. So if I'm going to pull any money from my sinking funds, I mark it over here what category it's going to be pulled from, and then at the end of the month I can go through and start transferring money around and everything like that. Here are my sinking funds. We're just going to go ahead and write down everything, and I have some of these are categories with subcategories. So car, I have the inspection, registration, insurance, and maintenance all underneath the car one. We have subscription, so I have Amazon, Other, and Viki under it, and then house under all of that. I pay myself my rent or mortgage or whatever you want to call it, and I have to make sure that I'm saving up for taxes and insurance, specifically taxes and insurance, because they are so much every year. So let's go ahead and get started with writing down everything. and I don't have a total for that. But basically, going through here, car, I save up for inspection and registration, insurance, and maintenance. Inspection and registration for 2024, I should already have enough money saved up in there, so I am not going to be adding any more money into that. So, and that's not due until 2024. So I do know that, but the rest of it, it's going to have stuff going into insurance and maintenance to add up some other stuff. Clothing, I'll have money going in there. Gifts, that is for birthdays and Christmas for my family. Household, this is where I'm kind of like saving up for the room refreshes as I'm going through and doing them. So right now I'm working on the bathroom refresh, so I'm restarting since I've purchased pretty much everything I need from the bathroom refresh. Medical, I really need to bump this up in the next year. With only saving $25 every single month, it is not enough to cover stuff, anything when, like, what's happened to me where I got sick, I was injured myself, you know, lots of things have happened this year, medical-wise, that I've spent a little bit more money than I had ever planned. Subscriptions, this is where I save up for the yearly annual subscription. So Amazon Prime is one of them, and then Viki is the service that I use to watch a lot of my Asian TV shows, Korean, Chinese, all of that. And I do have Netflix, as you can see in my monthly budget, I have that also in there, but I also watch a lot of Viki as well. The other category is for anything that's miscellaneous that I may have forgotten, say like Quicken or Canva or something like that, where I need to pull money out and I actually have stuff in there. So that's what that's for. Summer bills is basically the sinking fund for when my bills get really higher in the summer. I am able to pull from that fund and pay to help kind of cover some of the cost. So the way that I do this is every month during the winter time, mainly during the winter time, but I do this every month throughout the year. I take my electric, water, and natural gas, take their budgeted amount minus the actual amount, and if the remaining is a positive number, I transfer that positive number into the summer bills sinking fund, and then it sits there and gains interest as I'm waiting for the summer to come along. In the summertime, when I take those three bills, usually what happens is the budgeted amount is less than the actual amount. So I have a negative actual. So that's when I'll start transferring over money to help cover it. And towards the end of the summer, like we are at right now, I still have higher electric bills and all of that stuff higher than the budgeted amounts. I'm down to where I'm gonna have to like figure it out. And so that means trying to work on eating habits, not spending as much on household and all the other things that I do. But this has helped me specifically when I was living paycheck to paycheck, and it's during the wintertime, I'm like, oh, I have all this extra money. And then when the summer hits, I have no extra money because I've gotten used to spending the extra money. So I really started doing this when I worked paycheck to paycheck. And the same thing goes for my car insurance. I did the same thing. My car insurance is paid every 6 months. So that helps. Trash is every quarter. That helped me save up money to make sure I have the money to afford some of these bills that come up. Taxes is the service that I use to file my taxes every single year. I just save up for it because it can get quite pricey, especially with all the things that I have added on with businesses and stuff like that. Trash, like I said, it's the quarterly payment for my trash and recycling. Vacation, that's self-explanatory, and currently I have 9 cents in there. I am actually going to be working to save more for vacation because I have already paid a down payment for a vacation and I need to start saving up some money to be able to afford it. So I'm planning to not only put the $100 that I normally put, but I want to put $200 extra this month into the vacation fund. So that way I have $300. I have at least $1,200 to like $2,000 that I need to save up for to pay for the rest of the vacation, the flight, food, stuff like that while I'm there. But the hotel stays and the things that we are doing that's the $1,200 basically is the down payment plus the $1,200. It's quite expensive. The vet, I have 3 cats that live inside and they all have to go to the vet for their annual exams. If I can get a hold of the outside cats, which most of the time I cannot because they are mostly feral, and 2 of them I can barely even touch. Like, they'll rub up against me when I'm feeding them in the morning, but the other times they run away from me. So, and then there's one that is a friendly cat, but I can't get her in a kennel at this point. So if I can get them in a kennel, I take them to the vet. But the inside cats do go to the vet all the time. Not all the time, but at least for annual exams. House, I mentioned before that I own my house, so I am paying myself my rent or mortgage. So that is to cover for taxes and insurance, along with the homeowners association and the trails that I have in my area, the maintenance fees for that. And the maintenance is for house maintenance. So if I need to replace the flooring, if I need to replace the AC, the water heater, the big financial refrigerator, washer, dryer, all of that type of stuff, that's a big financial drain. I am saving up for that as well. Okay, moving on into savings tracker. I will not be sharing my 401k or my funds information. That's, again, just privacy type stuff. But at the very end of the month, I will share totals of everything. So starting off with emergency fund, we have and basically these are, of course, the emergency fund. I want to be funded 3 months worth of basically being able to pay my bills in case I ever lose my job, and it allows me some time to just live and not worry about bills and find a job as well. The money market is my emergency fund to the emergency fund. That account started off with $10,000 earlier this year, but things have happened and I've had to use it. So that is why it's there. Between the two, I am almost close to my 3-month mark, but I would really like to have the emergency fund have the $11,000 in there to be able to cover all of my bills for 3 months. I'd like more money to be saved up in there, but you know, it's a slow progress. When you're only putting $100 every single month into the emergency fund, it only goes up so far every year, and I don't get a lot of interest off that account. I think I get like 2 cents. I think maybe it was 9 cents or something like that this past month. It's some stupid, silly, I get a cent for every $1,000 or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, moving on into debt. So starting off October, I have paid off 2 of my 4 debts by now. So credit card 1 and credit card 2 are completely at 0 amounts. Now my main focus is going to be paying off a business credit card because there is $100, over $100 every single month going to interest on this card. So it is my main focus to start getting it paid off. The current balance, not the statement balance, but the current balance is $6,809.34. My next, I'm doing this all wrong. $208, that's the due amount, 09. I apologize. Okay, going down here. 09. So that's the minimum payment due, $62.25. So that's how much, $270.34 is how much I actually have to pay towards debt. I am really going to try to pay off more than the $208. I have already paid that because of what I paid at the end of September, so I've already paid the minimum payment. So now all I have to do is focus on paying any additional income that I can save, that, you know, save throughout the month and everything. Let's do the beginning balances. We know those are at 0. Okay, we are now at $609.34, and then the home security loan, it is the loan for the equipment for the home security system. and this has a 0% interest, so it is my least worrisome thing right now. I just pay the $62.25 every single month, and once I get business credit card paid off, I will then work on paying more towards the home security loan. But this is currently sitting at $1,680.75 for a total of $8,490.09. So I'm happy that that we're down to below $8,500. My main focus is not to put any money on either of these cards, which normally I don't put anything on credit card one. It is just one that I have had with my mom. She and I share it. It's one I've had since I graduated high school and went off to college. And it's for emergencies only, so that's what we use it for emergencies only. Credit card number 2, I may have to put some money on there this month because I do have a dermatology appointment that's more of a surgery, because I actually have to go to one of their dermatological surgeons or something like that. So insurance is most likely not going to cover most of that, if any of it. I'm not quite sure, because it is a selective surgery to have a cyst removed. It's a pilar cyst, so it's nothing major. It's just a pilar cyst. But it's keeping it real. It's nothing to be concerned about, but it's in a vulnerable location, and my dermatologist would rather have one of their surgeons do it, and which I understand. So I am okay with that. So there may be something that I put on here, but I'm going to hope to pay it off by the end of the month as well. So I'm not saying I'm going to pay $500 to this credit card, because I may have to put money towards this credit. So I'll see what it's like and go from there at that point. That is it for like the regular personal type stuff. Let's go into business tracker. Right now, for all of my business ventures that I'm doing, I am expecting to get nothing from any of them. I was pleasantly surprised with a couple of the journals, composition books that I had for sale on Amazon, that I actually got some royalty payment. They sold in July, and I finally got royalty payments last month, and it was $1.17, so it's not a lot. $1.17 off of royalties for selling 3 composition books. So I pleasantly surprised. So, but currently nothing is making much of any money at all that I do. Going into office supplies, I always just go ahead and budget 0, because I don't, at this point, think anything is going to happen that I need to do, although I think my Canva subscription is going to renew, but we'll put it in there. Now going over into the fixed expenses for business, I have YouTube Music, and that is actually increasing to $17.99 this month. However, I think I'm going to change that to an annual, because if I change it to an annual payment, it actually reduces the total amount per month that is owed. So one way to save money is to look at annual subscriptions, because they tend to save you money rather than paying every month. And I've done that throughout the years of like calculating how much per month with the monthly statement, and then I have to add in taxes to all of that type of stuff, and then how much it would be for the year. And usually the year is always less than the total of a monthly payment. And then website security for my editing business. That is just to make sure that I'm not getting hit with malware or any of that type of stuff. So that is $51 total for those two. Those come out every single month. I just know that that's going to happen. And then spending tracker down here in case I spend any money. And like I said, I know I'm going to spend these, so I don't really even mark them down here. It's anything that goes over in this field that I mark over here. Any of those miscellaneous random things that I end up spending money on. Like last month I had to buy a new external hard drive for my computer because I ran out of room. And that is where I post all of, or not post, but save all of my videos and all the like raw footage and everything. So that I need to buy it when it runs out of room, because I don't want to fill up my computer with all of that. Okay. So that is it for the monthly. Let's go ahead and flip you around and kind of talk about some things. I will leave the link down in the description box for the Canva template that you can download for you can actually get into Canva and work on yourself. I made it to where it's like table based, so that way you can input the information, tailor it to your own budget and what you need. And I found that when I was first starting up doing my budgets, and even now looking at all of these budget things, and they separate things into categories like food, lodging, car, all of this stuff, that does not work for me. I flat out does not work for me. I understand the need to like group things and like items, because I do that in other things, but it doesn't work for my brain. My brain works the way that this works. It's a lot. It really is. I didn't do all this when I first started budgeting way back, like really budgeting back in 2015, 2016. That was when I had just received my second master's, and I was in debt, student loan debt and credit card debt, and I had a car loan, and I had $62,000 worth of debt at that point. And I slowly through the years, and once I was able to actually learn how to budget in my mind the proper way, because before I wasn't budgeting at all. I look at my paycheck and figure out what bills I could pay during that pay period, and then just try to pay them, not taking into account if I have to go to the grocery store, if I go to the movies, if I go to get gas or any of that type of stuff. I didn't account for that. I just said, oh, here are all of my bills, here's a list of them, and I'm paying them off on the due date. Why am I always in the negative on my account? I don't know. So if you're interested in that journey, I have videos going way back when on that, on trying to get out of debt for that time period. And since then, I think it was 2018, 2019 that I was no longer in debt. And then 2020, I bought a new car, and then I just slid back into debt. So I have slowly paid off that car that I bought in 2020. So I was able to pay it off in 3 years, which is really, in my mind, really good. I knew I wanted to get it paid off, and now I'm just trying not to overspend on, because being a new homeowner, I want to do things around the house and make it my house. And by do things, I mean remove the carpet, paint the walls, do the things to make it my house. And I started off this year spending way too much money on my bathroom and my bedroom, and the rest of the house is just kind of like, I'm taking my time now. Those were the rooms that I wanted to spend money on, because they are kind of like my sanctuaries. The other rooms, I just need to rip out the carpet and repaint the walls and ceiling and paint the floors. So it's not, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's not like having to fully furnish rooms and stuff like that. So I'm trying to save money now on all of that, but I did go crazy at the beginning of this year with buying things for all of the room refreshes. So now I'm going to try to keep everything below a certain amount for every single room going forward, because it's just paint and some other supplies like that. It should be paint and some other supplies. Should be. But this is the second time that I'm on a debt-free journey. It happens to the best of us. Things happen. And like me, my car was not functioning very well, and I just was fed up with it, and I went and bought a new car. Not a new used car, a new car. And I know everybody says don't do that, but I had the money, I could afford it, and for once in my life, I wanted a brand new car where I was the only owner of the car. So I've done that. I don't know if I'll do it again. If I have the money saved up to buy it and not have a loan, then yes, then I will do it. But if not, I will look at used with what I have saved up. But for now, I'm in that my car is working, it's driving, it's only 3 years old, and it has 15,000 miles on it. I haven't been able to drive it very far the past couple years. Anyways, but I will leave the template down below for you guys. Some other things that are gonna, I mentioned these during the budget, but I have a couple doctor's appointments. I have a follow-up with my podiatrist on my Achilles, so I have that copay that I'm gonna have to pay. I also have that dermatological surgeon, whatever it is, I have that coming up as well, so I have no idea how much that's going to be, what insurance is going to cover. I don't know any of that at this point, but I want to have it removed because it's just in a bad spot. I just want it removed. And then I think that's it for medical stuff that right now that I'm aware of that I have to do. I also, with a podiatrist, my insurance did not cover a boot. I can't remember if it was the actual boot the first boot that I had, or if it was for the sleeping boot. So I have to, I don't know what it is, but I have a $40 for that. So right now I owe $80 to my will owe $80 to my podiatrist. I also have a dentist appointment at the very end of this month, but that probably won't happen. I won't have to pay anything because it's a yearly exam, so I shouldn't have to pay anything on that. I've already had to pay enough for getting a crown replaced before insurance would cover it. Anyways, I'm trying to think. Water bill is still up in the air. I'm gonna try to look to see today if I can actually pull the bill and see it, you know, actually look at it. I do get a paper bill, but I haven't received it yet because it was the weekend, month change, all of that type of stuff. So I don't know exactly when I'll get the paper bill, but I do know that according to the account online, it says I owe $418, I think, this month. So that's all up in the air, trying to figure out if I actually need to pay that. That's why I want to look at the bill to see if they have a date, excuse me, a date on there of when I need to pay everything. And my electric bill is kind of high because we're still in the summer months, so it was still kind of high. Still working on the budget, still working through things. It's a journey. It's not instantaneous. It's a journey. Things change and you just got to change with it. I mean, that's why I try to do weekly check-ins, because from one week to the next week, something can change. You can get a bill in, like my water bill came in and I'm like, oh, what's going on with this? And you know, the things happen. So it's just try to work around it and try your best at trying to pay them off. I know it's not always possible, but anyways, I will be back on Friday with a wrap up of September, so you kind of see where I end with a lot of the stuff in this video, but what expenses happened between or during the last 3 days of the month, that is what is in there with the final follow-up of everything that happened in September. And then on Sunday I will be back with a cleaning video, and that is going to be where I'm going to be doing some yard work, deep cleaning my back entryway, doing a few random things that happened in my kitchen, deep clean that didn't actually happen in my kitchen deep clean, and I remembered them, so I added them in. And also a grocery haul for that first week of my groceries. And then I'm still debating on what Wednesday's video is going to be after that. I don't know if I'm gonna do a Tuesday, Wednesday video with Amazon favorites, since it's one of the Amazon days or something like that. Or if I'm going to do my quarter 3 empties video, which I still have to film. But there's stuff going on, so please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that way you are notified when I do post those videos. Please give this a like. Let me know if you've been able to pay off anything towards debt, if you are trying to pay debt, if you actually enjoyed the printables, if you are curious at how well I will maintain this digital format. I mean, I technically could print these sheets of paper out and handwrite them, so I'm just trying to save some money on paper and all of that into a digital format instead. So thank you everybody, and have a wonderful week. I will be back on Friday with another video. Bye everybody.